On September 29th at 4 p.m, an Israeli airstrike leveled a 6-story apartment block in Ain al-Delab, southern Lebanon, killing 73 people. This is the story of Ashraf, one of the few survivors.
Okay, here is my room because I can see all my stuff. This one was in my room, yes, I can recognize it.
He was at home with his family when the attack began.
We were sitting in our living room with the view to this side. We heard a very loud voice and we saw a dust coming. I knew it was from a military airplane, but I wasn't recognizing that they will hit the building and the building will fall or collapse.
The first blast shook the foundations of the building. Ashraf rushed to comfort his family amid the chaos.
So I went to the kitchen to bring water for my sister. She was crying and my father was trying to calm her down. I came with the water because she was so afraid she didn't drink.
Moments later, the second strike brought the building down. Ashraf says he saw his sister Julia running to escape.
She didn't reach the stairs because when they took her out, she was still in the house. She was on her stomach and a lot of things over her.
Ashraf lay trapped under the rubble, desperately trying to communicate with his family.
I can hear Julia's voice, but her voice is so deep and soft. Maybe because she was having a lot of things over her. She was not comfortable.
Eventually, Julia stopped responding. The strike is not an isolated incident. Investigations by The National reveal a disturbing pattern in Israel's intensified bombing campaign in Lebanon over the past 2 months. In Aitu, a remote northern village of Lebanon, at least 24 were killed. 24 were also killed in Jannah, southern Beirut, when a strike destroyed several buildings without warning. In Baja, south of the capital, 35 were killed in a strike. There were no reasons given or evident targets. This list is not exhaustive, as Israel's aerial campaign has continued across the country, killing more than 3,000 since the conflict escalated in late September. Israel has repeatedly targeted residential buildings in non-combat zones, many of which house displaced families from southern Lebanon, predominantly Shiite populations. Weapons experts identified the use of massive munitions, including Mk-83 and Mk-84 bombs, designed to obliterate entire buildings. These strikes caused large-scale destruction and killed dozens of civilians. For Ain Delab, Israel eventually told The National that the target of the strike was a member of Hezbollah's security committee in Sidon. The National found that Ahmad Awarki, a car salesman and Hezbollah member, was among the dead. He was reportedly living in the building with 30 members of his family, many of them killed in the attack. Even when Hezbollah members were present, it is questionable whether their rankings and involvement in the group would justify the scale of destruction and loss of civilian life. Investigations link these attacks to the Dahiyya doctrine, an Israeli strategy aimed at attacking civilian infrastructure to weaken Hezbollah's social and logistical support base.
There is no reason to hit the building. If they are pretty sure that there's someone from Hezbollah in this building, they can bomb his car while he's driving away from this building. Why they bomb a building and 70 people are died with no reason just because they live in this building?
The strikes on civilian areas have drawn widespread condemnation. Legal experts argue that Israel's actions may constitute war crimes owing to breaches of distinction, failing to differentiate between civilians and combatants, proportionality, causing excessive civilian harm compared with any military advantage, and precaution, not taking adequate measures to minimize harm to civilians. For survivors like Ashraf, these strikes are more than just a breach of international norms.
You're missing someone you will not see anymore, especially my relation with my sister. I used to tell her everything. Only God knows what's between me and between my sister.
Despite the devastation, accountability remains elusive.
Let's switch it. If this building was in Israel, all the media will talk. Hezbollah and their friends hit a building of 100 people in it. But because this is in Lebanon, they put that Hezbollah is the reason, that they have a reason for bombing this building.
Strikes in Ain Delab, Aitu, Jannah and Baja are not just tragedies, they illustrate a larger, devastating pattern of Israeli attacks. For Ashraf, the wounds have not yet healed, and justice feels a long way off. To read more on our investigations, visit www.thenationalnews.com.